Hello guys, I'm Roosevelt, and in this video I'll be showing you how to create a social media post design in Adobe Photoshop. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So these are the resources that I'll be using for the flyer design, and we'll be designing the exact same flyer in Adobe Photoshop. So I have my worksheet over here, and the size of the worksheet, the width is 1080 and then the height is 1350. Now let's start by adding some guides. So to add guides, go to view, guides, and then select new guide layout. Over here, make sure the margin is checked, and then the value for top and then bottom should be 0, should be empty. Set the left margin to 100 pixels and then set the right margin also to 100 pixels and click on OK. So when you are done, let's add a solid color. So click here and select solid color. Over here, let's go with the color code of 44C3FF and click on OK. Now let's import our pattern image. So let's drag it here onto our worksheet. Press Command T or Control T, put down the Option or Alt key, and then resize it. So let's go with something like this. Yeah, something like this, okay. And then what we'll do is let's change the blend mode from normal to multiply. So with the pattern layer selected over here, change its blend mode from normal to multiply, and then let's reduce its opacity to 10%. So something like this is okay for me. Now what I'll do is I'll import my model's image. So I have the full model image over here, and then I also have the cutout image. So I'll drag and drop the cutout image onto my worksheet. Press Command T or Control T and then resize the model's image. So I'll be going with something like this. Let me resize it again, and then I'll hold Shift, left click, and drag it to the right side. So something like this is okay for me. Perfect. So now let's enhance our model's image a little bit. So with the models layer selected, go to Filter and select Camera Raw Filter. So we are in the Camera Raw Filter. Now let's zoom in. Yeah, this is okay. So under light, let's give it an exposure of 0.20. Then let's give it a contrast of 25. Let's reduce the shadows. So let's go with -2 for shadows. Then let's reduce white too. So with the white, let's go with -25. Then let's add some blacks. So let's go with 30. Okay, let me reduce this one. Let's go with something like this. Let me play around with the whites. Okay, so let's go with 44, and then let's leave the blacks. Let's leave the blacks to be 30. It's okay for the blacks. Let's go to color. So under color, let's set just the vibrance to 4. Now let's move on to effects. So under effects, let's set the texture to 30. Set the clarity to 10. Let's set clarity to 10. Okay, then let's go to details. So under detail, let's set the sharpening value to 50. I think that's too much. Okay, let's go with 50. And then let's add some noise reduction. So let's go with 10, and then let's reduce the sharpening to something like 40 is okay. And then just click on OK. So here is the before and then after, before and after. Now that we've enhanced our image a little bit, let's add some color vibrance to it. So with the models layer selected, click here and select color balance. So over here, let's give it a value of -2. Then let's add some blues. So let's go with 4. Now let's do something similar with the highlights. So the highlights, let's reduce the reds in it. Let's go with -8. And then let's add some blues to it. So let's go with 10. Now let's do it for the last side, that's shadows. With shadows, let's reduce red. So let's go with -4. And then let's add some blues. So let's go with 3. Also right click on the color balance layer and then select create clipping mask to clip it onto our model. So we've added some kind of blue thing to our model's image. Now let's add a black solid color. So click here and select solid color. Now right click on the solid colors layer and select create clipping mask. Now select the layer mask and then press Command I or Control I to invert the selection. Now zoom in, press the B key for brush, so B for brush, and then make sure that the foreground color is set to white and paint over the edges of her hair. So let's go with something like this. Once you're done, just reduce its opacity. So let's reduce the opacity. So I think let's go with 50. 50 will be okay. Yeah, so 50 is okay. Let me check. Yeah, 50 is okay. 50 is okay. Now let's add some curves adjustments. Then click here to clip it onto our model's image. Now let's create some kind of weird S shape. So left click here and then drag it down a little bit. Left click here and drag it up a little bit. So in order to create some kind of a weird S here, so something like this is okay. Let's see. Alright, that's cool. Now select these 4 layers, press Command G or Control G to group them, then let's name the model. So now we know that this group contains our model's image. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and then add our main text. So I'll select the type 2, left click here and then add my text. So I'll be going with Monday, and then all the text has to be in caps. And let's change. Okay, let me resize it first. Something like this, okay. And then let me change the font. Let's go with impact. So select this and let's set the size to, let's say, 67. Then let me align it well. Also set the this side to -25. Then I'll align it well. Press Ctrl T, just resize it. Something like this is okay for me. And then let's drag this text layer down. So let's drag it beneath the models layer and just drag it down this way. Okay, so something like this. Okay, now press Command G or Control G to group it and name it empty. That's main text. Now we know that our main text is over here. Nice. That's good. Now let's add some emojis. Select the pattern layer over here and let me drag in the first emoji. Press Command T or Control T and then hold down the Option or Alt key to resize it. Now hold down the Shift key and then turn it 2 times. So let's go with 30 degrees. Now let's place it somewhere here. Press Command T or Control T once again and then resize it just a little bit. Something like this is okay for me. Perfect. Now let's import the same emoji again. Just drag it here. Press Command T or Control T, hold down the Option or Alt key and then resize the emoji. So with this one, let's place it on top of the models group. Let me place this one just right after the main text. So select the second one, zoom in and then let's place the second emoji here. Press Ctrl T or Command T, hold down the Option or Alt key and then resize it. So let's place it somewhere here. Select the models layer, add an empty layer over here. Right click on the shape tool and then select the ellipse tool. Now gently draw an ellipse shape like this. We want to come up with a shadow for our emoji. And double click here, set the color to black. Once you're done, go to Filter, Blur and select Gaussian Blur. Okay, so select Convert to Smart Object over here. And let's go with let's try 3. Then click on OK. Perfect. I think this is looking great. So let's add one last emoji. So I'll duplicate this emoji. Press Command J or Control J to duplicate it. Then drag it here. Press Command T or Control T. Right click and select Flip Horizontal. Nice. So let's place it here and then resize it this way. Yeah, so let's go with something like this. And then let's place it beneath the main text. So let me select these 2 emojis and then drag them beneath the main text. So with this one selected, this one, press Command T or Control T and resize it again. Something like this is okay for me. Now go to Filter, Blur and select Gaussian Blur. Nice. So let me increase the blur a little bit. So let's go with let me check now. Okay, so let's go with a radius of 9 pixels and click on OK. So now we've added we have our model image, we have our background here, and then we also have our main text here. So now what's left? Let's add our logo. But before we add the logo, select these 2 layers, press Command G or Control G to group them, and then let's name them emoji. Nice. But anyway, this one, just forget it. The emoji over here, don't rename it. So I think we are good to go. Now what I'll do is I'll select all these layers and then press Command G or Control G to group them, double click and then name them BG, that's background. So now we know that this group contains our background. So let's continue. So now right click here and select the rectangle tool, then draw a rectangle like this. So let's go with something like this. This is okay for me. Perfect. Let me zoom in, then I'll push it up a little bit. Double click here and let's change the color from white to this yellow over here. So let's go with something like this and click on OK. Now let's add some text. So let's go happy. Let's go happy new week. Then the size is too big, so let's reduce it. Let's go with 12. I don't know, but then we'll be changing the font. So this one, it doesn't have to be all caps. Let's change it to Montserrat. So let's go with Montserrat bold. I think that one will be okay. Montserrat bold, and then let's change this side. Let's do it -50. Yes, -50 will be okay. And okay, let me change the color. So let's go with the color code of 302 F34 and click on OK. Now select these two layers and then let's center it. Let's center the text to our rectangle shape over here. Perfect. So now double click here, press Command C or Control C to copy. Select these two layers, press Command G or Control G, and double click here and then press Command V or Control V to paste. So we know that this group contains the Happy New text group. Now let's quickly add the logo, and then we'll add some Happy New Week text here, and then we'll add our social media handles, and then we'll be done. So let me import the logo. Have the logo here. Press Command T or Control T. Hold down the Option or Alt key and then resize it to your liking. So I'll be going with let's go with something like this. Okay, let me increase it just a little bit. So this is okay for me. I'll change the color from mauve to white. So with the logo layer selected, go to FX and select color overlay. Over here, set the color to white and click on OK. So press Command G or Control G to group it. Double click and then name it logo. So this group contains our logo. Now let's add our Happy New Month text. I've already copied the text, so I'll just select this side and then press Control Shift or Command Shift V to paste it in place. And then let me just push it down. So let's go with something else. Nice. Now let's group these two layers. Press Command G or Control G. Then let's rename it to Info. So this side contains our info. Now what we do is we are left with just the last part. So let's add our social media handle. But before we add our social media handles, let me zoom in and then select the first layer. Press Control Command Option E to merge it. So if you're on Windows, press Control Alt Shift E to merge it. But then if you're on Mac, just press the Shift Option Command E to merge it. And then select the rectangular marquee tool. Then let's make a selection. So something like this is okay. Press Control J or Command J to cut it out. Now let's delete this. Drag this one somewhere here. We'll be adding it to the info group very soon. So with this layer selected, let's convert it to a smart object. Go to Filter, blur, and then select Gaussian blur. Perfect. So now we've blurred this part. So let me reduce it. Okay. Let me go with the default one, that's 9, and then click on OK. Now let me import the social media handles, and then I'll place them somewhere here. I'll select these two layers and then try and center align it. Now press Command T or Control T, and let's resize it this way. Let me resize this side too as well. Select these two layers, press Command G or Control G to group them. Let's rename them to SM, that's social media. Open the info group, and then let's add our social media group to the info group. Nice. Okay guys, so this is how to design a very nice social media post design in Adobe Photoshop. If you like this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Also like, comment and share with others.